Hey, Heartfelt families, this is Mr. Justin. Today I'm going to be leading a small group activity that has to do with community helpers, which is something we've been talking about a lot this week. And kind of the last couple weeks, in the other videos I've done, the last minute or so will be more towards parents, but of course, again, if kids you want to watch, I'll just be talking more about core and our high school curriculum and what parts the curriculum this activity touches upon and helps with their development. And so today we are going to be making a map. And so it can be a map of your town where you live. You can make up your own town. So it can be a real place or not. And so you got to think of different community helpers. And so you've probably heard some stories and gotten some other ideas maybe from Morning Message from other teachers. But different community helpers that I can think of are like post office workers, people that work at the grocery store, policemen and women, firemen and women. I'm trying to think, a chef, someone who cooks at a restaurant, anyone like that is a community helper. And so what we're going to do is I already made mine. I made kind of a map of a town. And what I did is you can cut out your own different pieces of paper. I use little pieces of Post-its, which is kind of easy because they're already sticky. But you can cut out pieces of construction paper. And what you're going to do is you're going to glue them down on on like a white piece of paper or a big piece of paper like this. And each one of these little papers are going to be a different place. And so for mine, I chose a couple different places that holds a lot of community helpers. And so for here, and it depends if you're writing already, and if you're not, that's totally okay. You can also draw a picture. And if you can't do that, or if you don't want to draw a picture, you can also just do a different color paper that will represent a certain community helper. So for mine, I wrote some of mine, and I also drew some of mine. So I have all my little lines, which are my roads going from different places. I put my house down here. So up here, you can also do what's called abbreviation. So I put PS, and so that stands for me. That stands for the police station. So you don't have to write out the whole word if you want. And down here you can see I drew a little fire, and so that's going to be my fire station. And then up here I put it's a cross, and so a lot of times that is a symbol for medical care and doctors and hospitals. And so I put a hospital right in the middle of my town. And then over here I wrote out the words post office, and then down here I put grocery store. And so I really want you guys to have fun with this activity, so you can do kind of whatever you want in terms of what kind of materials you want to use, what color paper you want to use. If you're not going to use Post-its, you're going to need, of course, scissors, but you also need glue to glue these little pieces of paper down. But I hope you guys really enjoy this activity. I enjoyed it. I kind of made up a town. This isn't exactly what the town looks like where I live, but you can do either one. So now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the curriculum and how this activity touches upon different points of your child's development. For this one, it's really good for helping kids with kind of geography and kind of thinking about if they are doing a real map of your city or trying to do like a realistic one, it is a really great way for them to think about the geography of your city where you live and where are things in terms of where are locations in terms of other places. So like for mine, I put the hospitals in the center of the city, and it's like above my house. It's like north of my house. And it also helps with kind of like spatial awareness, so kind of spacing these out in a right way that makes sense for them. It also is really great, of course, with any art activity. Fine motor skills, having them cut with scissors and having them glue and draw, anything like that is really good for fine motor. And also you get a beautiful piece of artwork at the end, which is definitely a bonus. And it's also just a great kind of way to have form communication skills with your child and just talking about just asking them questions like, well, what are you going to include in your town? And what kind of community helpers do you think are really important? And how are you going to incorporate them into your map? And one last thing I'd also I also think that this activity really touches upon is planning. And so that's something we always do with kids at school and at Heartfelt, whether it's at work time or any other time during the day. We talk to kids about, like, what's your plan? What are you going to do? And so for this, it kind of takes a little bit of planning to kind of figure out, okay, I'm going to put this here, this here. So it's really good to get them into the habit of talking about and thinking about what they're going to do before they actually do it. And so I hope you guys enjoy this activity, and I hope it's really helpful, and it is a fun activity that you guys can do together, you and your child. And I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. I will talk to you guys next week. We'll be talking about weather. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. All right. Bye, everyone.